Unbelievable. Unbelievable. For now, more on the Clásico with a less flattering Barcelona edit by our producer, Beto. We've got our ESPN correspondent, Gustavo Hofman. Gustavo, how you doing, my man?
Hello, Herculez. How are you? Here in Paris now, not in Madrid. I'm right in front of Théâtre du Châtelet, where happened the Ballon d'Or ceremony. And Vinicius Junior didn't win. It was Rodri after a weekend unforgettable for Barcelona and a week that all the Madridismo will want to forget.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to want to forget that for sure. So much so that Vini Jr. and all the Real Madrid delegates decided to not attend the Ballon d'Or. They're about as bitter as a lot of friends that I have that go for Real Madrid. No Vini Jr. at the Ballon d'Or in Paris. The international Brazilian winner was not happy. You want to know who else wasn't happy? Brazilian legend Marta wasn't happy. Listen to this.
Eu esperei o ano inteiro para ver o Vini Júnior ser reconhecido merecidamente como o melhor jogador da atualidade. E agora vem me dizer que não vão dar a bola de ouro para ele? Que bola de ouro é essa? Que bola de ouro é essa?
I've got so many questions. All right. Vini Jr. not happy, but he did release this statement via Twitter, via X. I'll do it 10 times if I have to. They're not ready. Ooh, sounds like Vini Jr. is not cool with it. So, Gustavo Hofman, are you cool with it? No Vini Jr. at the Ballon d'Or in Paris.
Definitely not. Definitely not. For me, Vini Jr. was the best player in the season 23-24. Of course, that Rodri had also a very good season. But for me, he wasn't even the best player for Spain during Euro. I saw Lamine Yamal playing better than him. I saw Nico Williams better than him also. And I think that Vinicius deserved the Ballon d'Or last season because what he did, especially in the Champions League, with 6 goals and 4 assists, deciding games for Real Madrid, scoring again in the final. So for me, he was the best player. And my feelings about that, and I'm really convinced about that, the main topics for Vinicius not winning the Ballon d'Or weren't on football. These topics are about the way that he fights racism, the way that he behaves against racism. And I think that these topics were the main factors for many, many people not to vote on Vinicius Junior. Because when we see what happened during the season in the pitch, I'm convinced that Vinicius was the best player.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Rodri. Or here's the thing, excuse me, Gustavo. If Vini Jr. wins, I'm okay with it. If Rodri wins, I'm okay with it because I don't think it's a robbery that Vini Jr. did not win this. Listen, robbery when Messi wins over Erling Haaland, and people are saying, well, Messi won the World Cup. That wasn't the criteria. It was actually the World Cup was a year before. A robbery when, they decide not to give out the award, and Lewandowski doesn't win the Ballon d'Or after a ridiculous year after winning the Champions League. Robbery probably Iniesta or Wesley Sneijder not being there, and winning this award. And many of the stars in the past that didn't get a chance to because they had players like Messi and Cristiano, that would be hard. But honestly, Vini Jr. not winning this when, yes, he had a very good club season, but was nowhere to be found with Brazil and the international level, and losing to a player who you said wasn't the best player at the Euros for his team in Spain, but actually was named the best player in the Euros, I've got no issue with that. I'm okay with it, like I'd be okay if Vini won. What I'm not okay with, and maybe you agree or disagree here, is that Real Madrid, a team so prestigious like Real Madrid, Vini Jr., a player so good like Vini Jr. that certainly will be up for this award maybe more times in the future, decided that it wasn't worth his time, and it made Real Madrid and Vini Jr. look petty. That's where I'm not okay. This was a moment in time, a capsule where you could have made a stand if you chose to at the awards. You could have stood for something instead of standing down for nothing. And that's what I'm not okay with. I wonder if you agree with that.
By source, we knew that Real Madrid considered a robbery. They used this word for us by source. That they said that was a robbery that Vinicius Junior didn't win the prize. So that's why this is the reason that they used to decide that they wouldn't come because Real Madrid won the Ballon d'Or for best team in the season. Carlo Ancelotti won the prize for the best coach in the season. So it was a decision based on Vinicius not winning the Ballon d'Or. As I said, I won't use this word. I don't think that was a robbery, but I really think, including by living here in Europe, by living in Madrid, talking to people in Madrid, I really think that the topics that made Vinicius not the winner today aren't based on football. This is the problem for me. I'm really convinced about that, because if you want to talk about football, of course we can argue. We have topics for Rodri, we have topics for Vinicius, for Carvajal. Also, Carvajal won everything with the club and with the national team. So you could also vote for Carvajal, but I am convinced that Vinicius was the best player because he became the protagonist of Real Madrid after Karim Benzema. He decided the match for Real Madrid. So for me, when I look to the pitch, to football, talking about football, for me, he was the best player in this season. Even that with the Brazilian national team, he couldn't be so good. Actually, you know that, Herculez, Brazil had the worst year in its history. There was no manager. There was no one there deciding who would be the manager. And Vinicius suffered that with the other players, also with the Brazilian national team.
Yeah, and it's quite unfortunate. I did want to make one comment on Rodri because you mentioned that you think it's outside off-the-field factors, which blows my mind if that's the case, because if out of these two players, it was actually Rodrigo who was suspended and fined after the Euros for these Cantitos de Gibraltar by UEFA, by FIFA, so that's really surprising. Anyways, you mentioned Brazil.
And Herculez.
Go ahead.
If you allow me, sorry. In Spain, people like to say that Vinicius is a provocative player. So I asked about Emiliano Martinez. Is he a provocative player? Of course that he is. But no one says anything about that. And he won the prize again, the Ballon d'Or for the best goalkeeper.
He did. He was very booed while he was up there walking through the red carpet and such. But he did win that Dibu Martinez Best Goalkeeper.